Thanks for joining us on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Let's talk Lackawanna College Falcons football. Mark Duda, the head coach, joining us right now. Mark, a great start for your team. You play this weekend against Monroe College, but boy, things are going pretty darn well. Let's talk about your season.
Well, it's been a great season thus far. I mean, where our offense is averaging 50 points a game, and defensively we're getting up 20. We lost one game early on, little bump in the road, 49-40 versus a team called Globe Institute out of Brooklyn. But since then, we beat Nassau Community College, who were number 2 in the country at that time, and on Saturday beat ASA, who was 17. So now, hopefully, the rankings tomorrow will be over 17.
Well, and you guys demolished them. I mean, a great game. Let's talk about the offense first. Tell us about the guys getting the job done. Let's start with the skill guys, the quarterback, and some of your running backs this season.
Well, the quarterback, Andrew Ford, he's the transfer from Virginia Tech, and he leads the conference in touchdown passes. I think he's pretty close to leading the country. I think he's 4th in the country now. Super bright guy, and he really delivers the ball to a lot of different people. So it's a pleasure seeing him read things so well, and he plays so well, and obviously he'll end up in we'll be hearing more from Andrew Ford. He'll be leaving us after this semester with his degree, and off to another Division I school, I'm sure. So it's great to have him, and he's got a local tie there because Coach Catafio, of course, who those guys are from the area, coached him in high school. So it's a nice thing to have Andrew. And then of course we have a pretty good balance. We rush for 240 yards a game right now. So Terry Norris, who's one of our team captains, an older guy from Massachusetts, is having a great year. But we use 5 running backs, and I think 6 of those guys used 6 on Saturday. All 6 of them scored a touchdown. So it's been a really well-rounded group. Receiver-wise, Bowen, the youngster from Dunmore High School, was our tight end who just was at UConn and now is back with us for a year. He's having a great season, touchdown again, and is a great blocker, pass catcher. So we're fortunate to have a lot of great players, and they're playing well right now.
Bowen, now I remember him as a tackle in high school. What's going on there?
He was a defensive lineman at UConn. When he came back, he's about 250 to 245, and tall. I mean, has to be 6'6", and super fast kid, even faster at that body weight. So yeah, he's worked himself in a situation where he's going to be a Division I tight end. So there's a youngster who left with the UConn, wasn't a great fit, came back here. He's going to play for us and graduate and go back off. So it really, it's a pleasure having a kid like that. Coach Henderson did a great job with him.
Mark, it's always great to hear your evaluation of kids because, I joke and say your word is gold, but you played at the highest level. You've coached some incredible guys. You talk about getting 5 running backs in the game. I mean, how much of a difference are we talking about some of these guys that start, other guys that are getting reps, evaluating talent? Yeah, I mean, you're always evaluating.
We always do. It's constant, and the value, it changes as the season goes along. Some of the youngsters, get their knowledge base grows. They get a little more knowledgeable with the offense, and they play better. But we don't want any of our running backs to touch the ball more than 17 times a game. We feel that if they can run at full speed every time they have the football, it gives us a better chance to win. So we are fortunate to have those type of athletes in our program. But once again, they have to be willing to share the glory as opposed to have all of it. So I think the bigger trick is to have Coach Savage, our running back coach, who can get those guys to work as a group, more as a community, so that when we score a touchdown, they all score a touchdown. I think that's the biggest point, and it works really, really well for us.
Mark, every year you hear of 1, 2, 3, 4 linemen going somewhere to play some football at a high level. How about this year's offensive line?
Well, the offensive line, Ashton Julius, his choice is going to be, we think, now between Oklahoma and University of Florida. He has both scholarship offers from both those guys, and about 50 other ones, I guess. So he has to make that decision in the recruiting process. He's going to go. The other tackle, Kendall Calhoun, who's a youngster who was a transfer out from University of Kentucky State, actually. He's going to be the Division I player as well. He's going to tackle on the other side. And then we have our inside guys. Our center is a young guy, so he's coming back. And our other guard his last name is Fletcher, is also a heck of a player. So those guys are all going to go. And we feel our outside receivers, John Williams, John 6'6", big kid, got a tremendous one-handed fade on the end zone on Saturday. He's got Southern Miss and all those guys already offered, so he's going to go. And then, of course, defensively, we have a whole bunch of kids that can play. Kaiser White's the best safety. He came in as the best safety in America, and he still is. That's Kevin's brother. We all know Penn State is trying their darndest to get him, and they're doing a great job trying to recruit him. But he's got West Virginia and Arizona and everybody else we can think of. So he's got a good opportunity to go do those things. So we have kids who can play at a high level, and they're starting to buy in, which is really important at our level. And so we look forward to the next 3 games for sure.
Mark Duda joining us here from Lackawanna College football on the John Mendola Show. We're driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Let's head over to the defensive side of the ball, and I know you got one local guy at least that's doing some great stuff and pretty good defense.
Yeah, Shane Chubik from Bull Forge is having a great season for us. He's our starting Mike linebacker. He averages about 8 tackles a game. The interceptions, fumble recoveries, really, really heady player, really smart as far as the game goes. He just gets it. And is a physical specimen if you ever really take a good look at him. He's kind of strapped together. So the kid is having a great year. And he was redshirted last year, so he's got another year after this before he goes out. And he's been just wonderful. He's one of our team captains last week and has really come along. So people love him because he works so dang hard, and he's a great player. So we're thrilled about him. We have 2 outside linebackers, Capri Doucette and Emmanuel Beal are both outside linebackers. Have to be the fastest 2 outside linebackers probably in the country. So those 2 guys run like safeties, and they're both double sack guys, and they make it hard to block those guys on the edges. So those guys are really good. And we have a big, huge nose tackle inside us, about 320, named Maurice Glasgow, who's as big and strong as anybody out there. So it takes 2 to block Big Mo, as we always say, and it should be like those guys that are beneficiary of that. So it's a pretty well-rounded group. I think we played against a running back on Saturday from Arkansas who was averaging about 200 yards a game. He had 39 yards. So those guys kind of did a great job against him, and they shut down a great ASA team. So we're happy with them, and knock on wood for us. Doing an interview, we're healthy right now, and that's a huge part of it because the last couple of years we were decimated by injuries early on in the year, and this year we're healthy.
Mark, I know years ago we talk every year, it seems. You're bringing in all these guys and so much talent. How much has anything changed recently? I mean, you're getting guys to the highest level playing in the pros and going on to do the biggest and best things. But as far as the recruiting process, still basically all DVDs or huddle. Tell us about that part.
It's still mostly huddle, which is the way they serve, the server. It's all kind of internet stuff now, but we're getting so many referrals from college coaches who want players to come to our school, and I say that really importantly, our school, and we'll come out with the academic rigor they need to be successful. So it's not only are we winning in the classroom, which we have for a long time, we're starting to win on the field again. So it's kind of like a 2-edged sword. So hopefully we'll win this conference championship in the next 2 weeks, and it'd be the best team in the East and graduate the most players in the East. And that's what I'm looking to do every single season, and it's been gratifying to see our kids do well on both ends of it.
Well, Mark Duda, we appreciate your time, and keep going there for the Falcons, and a great job once again.
Thanks, John. We'll do our best. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right, Mark Duda here on the John Mendola Show. We are driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers.